pleasure to introduce Dean Devlin, who is
You like it?
He's the showrunner, the director, and the executive producer, as well as a writer. You wear all the hats, Dean. My goodness, you do it all.
A little bit busy.
I love it. And for the incredible cast we have with us today, we've got Callum McGowan. We have Olivia Morris. It's his first time in New York, everyone. I want her to have some pizza. And last but not least, we've got Bluey Robinson. So Dean, I'd love to start with you. You've been part of this franchise for a very, very long time. I know that this is an incredible spinoff that so many of you in the audience have been waiting for. Since 2018, actually, was the last season 4 of the Librarians. How many of you have been waiting a long time for this? You started back in 2014, which is pretty much over a decade. What does it feel like to be back on board with the TNT team and a part of this brand new spinoff?
Well, actually, the first Librarian movie
Also boobies,
was
yeah.
just over 20 years ago.
I think you need a librarian certificate of some sort. We're going to give that to you tonight.
And it originated on TNT, and we did the 3 movies, which were wildly successful at the time. And they still keep getting sold today, which I don't think there's any other made-for-movie television that's 20 years old that continues to play. Then we got to do the series, and it was so much fun. But from the day it ended, I wanted to go back into that world. And I've been trying like crazy to figure out how to bring it back to life. And when this show had an opportunity to happen, it was like seeing an old friend. Or old friends. And getting to bring that universe back to life is one of the great gifts of my career.
We're happy to have you back, Dean. And as far as taking on these new roles for the 3 of you, had you watched The Librarians previously, either the show or any of the films?
Yeah, no, I watched the films with my mum. My mum was a huge fan. In fact, Bluey's mum was a huge fan as well. But I didn't see the series when it first came out, but we watched it all when I was off the role. I was able to watch them all.
Love that, generational. How about you, Olivia?
Yeah, I watched it. I remember, obviously you get the audition and having like a reboot is so exciting because you've got like a template, obviously, to go and watch and see what it is you're coming in and whether you have to hit. And I remember watching it and seeing the chemistry with the cast and the world of it and going, oh yeah, no, this is going to be big. This is going to be exciting. And it was an amazing opportunity to dive into. It was a very cool first episode, I hope.
So good, so good. And Bluey, your mom. Tell us about mom being a huge fan.
Yeah, my mom and my sister used to watch the show a lot. And I never watched it. Sorry, Dean. I never watched it. And then I don't think my mom's been more excited about anything I've ever done in my life. They was said, yeah, I've auditioned, I looked at part of this show's called Librarians. Oh my god! Christian Kane! And then I watched, obviously when I was doing the audition, I watched the show and I was like, oh yeah, I recognise these characters' faces because I'd seen them around. But yeah, once I was in this world, I was really in this world.
I love that. Moms are so proud of you right now, aren't they? Yeah. And Dean, as far as a spinoff goes, what are some key differences, would you say, from the original franchise?
Well, if you think of the very first movie, Noah Wiley was kind of, or his character, Flynn Carson, was a fish out of water. He was someone who had spent his entire life in academia. He'd read about everything, but he had done nothing. He had no real life experiences. And when he joined the library, for the first time he was out in the world, having to actually do the things he'd only read about. So he was a fish out of water. So when creating this show, we wanted to kind of bring that spirit back, but obviously we wanted to have a new character. And you know, in the original movies, we introduced this idea of this magical library. But in the series, we brought out this new idea that there are annexes in the world, ways to access the library that's not at the actual location. And John Rogers and I had always talked about, well, where else might there be annexes? Why were there annexes somewhere else? Who was the librarian for those annexes? And one day we just started talking and said, well, what if there had been an annex in Belgrade, Serbia in 1847? Why would they have made one there? What was the librarian's mission? And what would happen if that librarian got caught in a time bubble and was rescued by Jacob Stone today?
You thought of just all of that?
That was a lot! And this was actually filmed in Serbia as well.
That's right.
How was this filming in Serbia, everyone?
I mean, we're so lucky in Serbia because our first season, we got to go to all these most amazing locations. And I don't know, as an actor, we have the most amazing studio with the annex, but to get to be in a city, and I mean, the team behind it that organised all of our locations and the place, I mean, we got to film in like a theatre and in the presidential palace and in these places that, you know, it makes it look as beautiful as it is. You know, we actually, as actors, we get to be in real buildings, not in very dark studios that have no windows. So we're grateful for both, to be completely honest. But no, Serbia's been wonderful, and the people are they're very good at having our film crews in their town centres, and they don't seem to be too mad about it.
I love that. Sort of, a little bit.
There was one woman, she hated us. Is that wrong? Yeah, we were filming in the street. It was 6 a.m, so she had every reason to hate us. But so we were being loud, filming, obviously, and she came out the window and screamed at us. And then it went quiet, and then went, all right, everyone, camera turn over, action. And the minute we started speaking, she put her hand out the window with a foghorn. Okay, reset, action. And we couldn't film for about 10-15 minutes.
Well, that's fun. I think you have a new fan.
Yeah.
As far as your characters, I want to dive a little deep into each of your characters. You've had some big shoes to fill as the new librarian. I think everyone in the audience was really excited when you were licking things. How many of you enjoyed them licking the tears? That was really fun.
It's something I share with my character. I thought every good character has a lot of yourself in them, so I thought I'd bring. I know, yeah, I mean, it was incredibly daunting, incredibly exciting. And I remember that I said this to Dean last night at dinner, that the night before we started shooting, I had the biggest panic attack. Because it was such a big world we were stepping into. And we are standing on the shoulders of giants, in a sense, of what they set up in the first 3 films and then the series. But then, you get to work with these amazing people every day, and our team over in Serbia. And it takes an army to make a show like this. And then you can relax into it, and you find that it's a joy and nothing to be scared of. But it was daunting, and it still is in a sense.
We did incredible. We all loved you. Olivia and Bluey, you're 2 geniuses over here. Talk a little bit about your characteristics and some things that are your favorite about each of your characters.
Yeah, it is actually kind of terrifying playing a genius because, my God, some of the words she says. I sometimes watch it and I go, God, I said that so fast. I'm so impressed with myself. I love my character. I thought I had the most fun in season 1 getting to play the smartest character in the world. Know absolutely nothing about what was going on, and it was so delightful, and getting to respond to your character be bonkers at all times in her head, and it was just it was so much fun, and sort of get to see her character get a bit more comfortable with magic if she ever decides to be able to say the word, but yeah.
And of course you inherited a library, because that's normal, right?
No, what a vibe!
How cool is that?
I was just so copy about it. Like, girl, you got a library, you got a castle.
Literally, yes. I mean, even just the Morgan Library, they want to give it to you.
Nice.
Maybe that.
Who do we talk to?
Party.
Someone?
And Bluey, Mr. Harvard over here, okay.
No, it's funny because my character is kind of the polar opposite of yours in a way. So you'll see throughout the season, there's a lot of back and forth where I'm just like, bro, can you not see the magic that's happening around you? Right? Like, why are you trying to be so
She's
silent?
like, no, shut up.
Yeah.
Shut up.
So we have a lot of fun with that, and you can kind of see how our journeys, develop and that sort of thing. So it's fun. It's fun to play against these guys and along with them. And yeah, you see all the adventures and everything. If you stay tuned to season 1.
Stay tuned, yes.
Sure.
But no, the playing alongside each other is the real win of this show. Coming to work every day, you go, God, how am I going to do this scene? Magic and long words and exciting things happening, and then you watch, Cal and Blue and Jess, and you go, oh no, this will be great. This is easy. I just get to watch these guys, react to them, and it's a real joy. It makes the joy.
You are very lucky to work with me.
Oh. And take away Callum from that sentence.
Callum's like, I'm the favorite, yes.
Well, you can tell from the photo at the.
Yes. Just a little bit.
I'm really happy with that.
That's a great portrait photo, yes, Callum. As far as this huge dedicated fan base that the Librarians has, I mean, it just spans to so many different individuals. What makes it so different and so unique in your minds?
Dean, you wanna tackle that one?
Sure. When it comes to heroes in fantasy or adventure shows, they tend to have been bitten by a radioactive spider or had unbelievable tools that were built. The Librarians just read a lot. And I think it makes it knowledge is power, and anyone, if you study hard enough, you could be a librarian. And I think that's part of what makes the show more accessible. But the thing about our fans, and I know you're here, so forgive me for saying it, but we have the smartest damn fans. One of the things our fans enjoy is Googling the things that we have in the show, because we try to make sure, while everything isn't exactly the way it is in reality, there's always a connection. You can always find, if you read up about the Dracovac tonight, you'll see that the guy who cut off the head and threw in the water is part of the mythology. So we always try to connect it. And our fans, they end up knowing the show better than we do. And so when we designed the show, we wanted it to be that if you've never seen the Librarians before, you could watch the show, you could get it, you'll have a great time. But if you're a real fan, every week there are Easter eggs for the fans. And they're going to see things that other people won't see. So you get an added bonus.
Easter eggs. Can you talk about any of these Easter eggs that fans can look forward to?
Oh, I don't want to spoil them.
You're not spoiling it?
I would just say look very carefully at things on the wall, look at designs, and I'll give you this. A fan favorite character is going to make an appearance this season at some point.
Ooh.
And I lick more things.
As one does.
As one does. As far as favorite mythical figures or historical moments in the season, was there one that stood out the most for each of you that you're just I'm a diehard fan of this?
It's difficult because of spoilers.
Yeah, I'm just going to give it away.
Yes, this is a spoiler. Okay, how about just in general? What are some of your favorite mythical figures or creatures?
Gosh, I think just genuinely following on from what Dean said, they're getting to Google, getting these scripts in, getting to research it, and be like, hey, I don't know how these writers' rooms come up with half of this stuff. It is an absolute treat, but it is mind-boggling. I don't know, I feel it's so hard about spoilers because I'm there are loads that every single episode, they're so rich with, historical stuff and scientific stuff and mythological stuff and characters and, episode 1 is so wonderful because it's a monster. And I think what's so lovely about Librarians, the original one as well, is we really, for the rest of the season, dive into magic corrupting people and magic being a thing that, you know, people take too far, and we go back to people. And I think because these characters are so smart and because they are so well read, when they meet these you know, normal people that have been corrupted by magic, they're just able to connect and able to sort of, I don't know, learn more about it. So for our first one is a monster, and the rest is...
Yeah, there's also like mythological, legendary, urban legend characters that have a bit of a twist to them, a new take that you perhaps haven't seen in TV or film before, a new way of putting this character or this figure out into the zeitgeist with an interesting twist, which has been quite fun. I can't spoil anything. I don't know.
This is a really hard game we're playing right now. Sorry, this is a difficult question.
But to answer your question, I like dragons.
You like turtles?
Well, I'd answer the question.
You have to go for season 2 for that.
Ooh, season 2, everyone. I think Dean just dropped something.
We just finished shooting the 6th episode of season 2. Second season. And again, you talked about earlier about being home at TNT. So we were originally making the show for the CW. And we were into the making of it when I got a call from TNT. And they said, "Is there any chance you could move the show over to TNT?" And I was like, "I don't know. I've never heard of that happening before, but let me see what I could do." And I talked to the people at the CW, and I have to say I was kind of shocked on how sympathetic they were. They understood why I wanted to bring the show home again. And it was a little bit of negotiating gymnastics, but we got it done. They were super supportive, and we got to move the show to TNT. And so I got to show them some of the stuff we had done, and they were so enthusiastic that they greenlit the second season before we even finished the first season. And that's the kind of support.
Everyone's like, wait, we're running this right now. This is incredible. Wow. Well, I want to end with one last question. I have to know, just based on the chemistry that you all have together, there's got to be some funny stories. And I know Jessica's not with us right now, so maybe we tell one about her.
Dangerous to not be in the room.
Yes, but I would love to hear some fun moments that you think are the most memorable that you've had on set.
We might get cancelled.
What kind of moments were these, including?
It's hard to honestly, it might sound corny, but it's hard to pick out just one specific moment. If I did think about it, I would find something, but luckily, every day we go on set and the four of us and the other stock actors and guests, so we all get along very well, and like we're all silly with each other. It's a little bit like a sibling sort of thing we have now, and it was quite immediate from like our first dinner, because we didn't do I'll talk to you guys about her. We didn't really do like a chemistry read. We just literally, it was all by Zoom and that sort of thing, meeting, being, and I'd never met these guys until our first dinner, and then we were kind of getting along quite well, and then maybe by like the third day of shooting, I was like, it seems like there's something here, like that's not normal in a way. And so as we went along, we just kind of bonded more, and every day is just so fun and silly. Like, I know I'm gonna laugh when I go to work, especially with Callum around. I know I'm gonna laugh that we're gonna get up to some sort of silly mischief. And
Well, I'll tell one story from this episode. When we started out, I had this idea that we would actually build the Drekovac as a suit and have a stunt actor on set being the Drekovac. Well, I didn't see it until about the day before we were to shoot it. And it was the dopiest looking thing I've ever seen. I mean, it was really like, oh.
It was, but then we had to react to it. He was there, he was our stunt guy.
And it
had the cutest little bum. So ridiculous.
And it weighed, the suit weighed something like 75 pounds. So the stunt guy couldn't move it. So you had this, and it was just humiliating and embarrassing, and I didn't know what to do. And we got to the end, and I thought I'd ruined the pilot. And our effects team said, well, why don't we just erase him and put a digital version of the creature? I said, well, what's that gonna look like? Well, our incredible team pulled that off on a TV budget and TV time, and I couldn't be happier with it.
Not to kind of highlight a single moment, it's more like a feeling that I have when I go on set. I think these guys would agree that, yes, Blue's right, I know that when we go to work, we're going to laugh, we're going to have fun together. But it's more the feeling I have when I go to work that no matter what happens, I'm going to be okay, right? That if a scene is difficult or I'm stressed about something or, you know, that I might not be all there, but I've got 3 people who have got my back. That if I want to jump there and you're asking how high and not get off the bridge.
Well, where are you jumping?
Yeah, where are you jumping? But that's a feeling I have with these guys when I go on set, that there's something that whatever, when we're together, then anything is possible. We can make any story come to life, and I really hope you guys enjoy the stories that we've made of this series.
You'll see that every episode is like a movie, and they're big this year. I mean, on a production value level, it's bigger than the original show. We were very ambitious, but it makes it really hard because we only have 8 days to shoot each episode. So sometimes they have very long hours in very difficult locations where it's either freezing or it's super hot or it's raining. And if we had had someone with a big ego on the set, it would have been impossible to do the show. These 3 are so lovely, and they get passionate about the work, but you never hear any crap about ego stuff. And the one who's not with us today, Jessica, I gotta say, she's like the sunshine. She shows up in the worst conditions with the best attitude, and the whole crew like lights up when she walks on. She had been the lead of another show I had done called The Outpost, which was also shot in Serbia. So everybody on the crew knew her. And so when these guys showed up, she was like, I'm gonna show you the best nightclubs, I'm gonna show you the best restaurants, I'm gonna show you where the beaches are. And I think it's partially a result of being in Serbia that when they're not working, they're still together. You know, they spend a lot of time off camera, and they've developed these relationships that inform the relationships that we see on camera. And it's a real tribute to who they are as people that their characters come off so well.
I mean, it's truly about teamwork makes the dream work. In every episode, you're working as a team unit. You need each other's skills and talents in order to complete your task each time. And it really shows through on the screen. It truly does. But that is it for our time. Yes, thank you so much, everyone, for attending this exclusive screening. Be sure to join us upstairs in the East Library. It is absolutely stunning up there. Maybe also another magical library. It seems like it may have something that will transport us somewhere else. I don't know, maybe that'll happen later tonight. But again, thank you so much for joining us, and thank you for